What if I told you 97% of people who want to change their life will be stuck in the exact same place 1 year from now? And the 3% who are going to break through all have just one thing in common. And that thing in common is they actually follow the same principles. And over this video today, I'm going to show you exactly what separates those people from dreamers to achievers to end up getting those results. This isn't going to be a motivational video. This is going to be a personal breakthrough session. But I'm warning you right now that what you're about to learn will make you feel uncomfortable because breakthrough requires breaking patterns that keep you trapped. But here's what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. We're going to actually diagnose what's actually keeping you stuck. We're going to identify those biggest breakthrough opportunities, and I'm going to give you a clean, clear action path that you can take to get there. This isn't theory. This is going to be hands-on work. You're going to want a pen. You're going to write this stuff down because it's going to change your life. And I know that it's going to because it's changed and transformed my own life. When I was in the military and I got out, I was stuck. I was in a season of a rut, spinning my wheels, making excuses, doing whatever I needed to do to get by, which I thought was being realistic. I was being a quote-unquote dreamer when I do this and when I have this and when I do this. See, I set goals, but I didn't have a real plan. I was focused on just getting by at the moment, driving Grubhub, on food stamps, just to survive. And I felt like life was busy. I didn't have time to do anything. But I actually wasn't being fruitful. Does this sound familiar at all? And it wasn't until I started feeling rock bottom and prayed to God that please show me something. And that's when I started finding myself indulging in personal development. From Jim Rohn to Tony Robbins to Bob Proctor and many more people that I've read and listened to, Napoleon Hills and Think and Grow Rich, and all of these things that started coming to me and I started finding and I started indulging in. That's when I unintentionally applied the principles that I was reading, and through God's revelation, I realized that everything had just shifted. I got brutally honest about my crux, and it created an impossible goal that actually scared me. But then it started subtracting the things that were keeping me comfortable, and that's when my breakthrough started happening. I'm not talking about just an overnight success. I moved my wife and my 4 kids to a state we've never been, a city where we had no family or friends, and kept moving in that same faith to achieve the things that we had set. Now, I'm talking about a sustainable, kingdom-centered transformation process that changed not just my results, but who I became as a person. Back then, I would never be on this video with you right now making this whole training for you. I would have never put the camera on. I would have been scared to turn it on. I would have turned it off. I'd have been frustrated. But today, I'm going to break down the 8 principles that I've used and that other highly successful entrepreneurs also use to break through their limitations and build the life that they actually want. Whether you're building a business, strengthening your family, or improving your health, or trying to find your true calling, these principles are going to work for you. But here's the catch. Most people are going to watch this video. They're going to feel inspired for about a few hours or a few days, and they're going to go right back to the old patterns and habits. Don't be those people. Grab the pen, take the notes, and implement what we're going to go over because it's going to be your breakthrough. But I need you to participate. Don't just spectate. Before we go really deep into these 8 things, I want to start with one brutal truth. If you're confused, you will lose. Most people are confused right now, even if you don't want to admit it. You cannot hit a target that you cannot see, and that confusion will breed delays in your life, while clarity is going to fuel the momentum in your life. Think about it this way. How many times have you started something with excitement, and then you quit just a few weeks later when something got rough? How many goals have you set that you've never achieved? How many New Year's resolutions have you set that you've never actually accomplished? How many dreams have you talked about and you never pursued? Do you want to be 80 years old looking back wishing you did something, or do you want to be 80 years old sharing successful testimonies with your great-grandchildren or your friends or whoever you're around? The reason that most people don't pursue their desires isn't from a lack of motivation, it's just from a lack of clarity. And right now, I want you to ask yourself these critical questions. I mean, really ask them. Don't just think about them, feel them. Who are you becoming right now in this moment? Who do you actually want to become? What are you building with your life? And why does it even matter? See, here's a question that will change everything. The things you're doing on a daily basis, are they contributing to who you want to become? Or are they contributing to that version of yourself that you don't want to be? And don't lie to yourself, because many of you know the answer. And it's not pretty. Most people are sleepwalking through life, going through motions, scrolling through social media while their dreams just collect dust. Actually, just this week, I'm going over all these applications. I have 90 some applications for this position in my company, And I'm talking to somebody and their energy is extremely low. And I asked them, what motivates you? And their response was to just get through the day. Could you imagine this? This person was just existing, not living. They had given up on pulling their future closer so they could just survive in the present. Do you think that their future will be successful if they sit in that feeling, that mental state every day? Probably not. So don't be that person. Look into the future and pull that thing to the present. If the present is in the driver's seat, you're going to crash out. Your future self and your future life is calling you forward. But if you don't have that vision or have the courage, you're never going to move towards it. And if you can't answer that question or those questions clearly, you found yourself at your first breakthrough point. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But here's the equal power to that. 1 Corinthians 14:33 reminds us that God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. See, God wants to give you the crystal clear vision for the season, but you have to stop making excuses. You have to start being honest with yourself. You need to pause the video right now, do whatever you need to do. I'm serious, but write this down. What is my clear assignment in the season and pray on it? Ask God. Then write down whatever comes to mind after that. Don't overthink it. Don't edit it. Whatever comes to mind, put it down. Don't make it pretty. Don't skip this step. Because if you do, you're already proving you're part of the 97% who are stuck and will not change. Now, this next part is going to be critical. And I will start with this quote from Zig Ziglar. He said, you can have everything in life you want if you just help other people get what they want. This is so vital because so many people focus on what they want and how much money they want to make and how many things they want to buy. In reality, those things will be a byproduct of the value you bring into the world. It's going to be a byproduct of how many solutions you bring to someone's problems. This philosophy and way of thinking will completely shift everything for you, but only if you get your ego out of the way. Your life is not about you. I know that sounds harsh in a culture that tells you follow your dreams and live your best life. But the truth is that this is going to set you free. The truth is that your marriage, your business, your ministry, even your health aren't just personal goals. They're platforms to help others fulfill their God-given potential. And when you shift from what can I get to how can I serve, everything is going to change. But here's where most people mess up completely. They think they can serve everyone. But listen very carefully. You cannot serve everyone. You need to niche down. I know it's tempting to think you can help everyone or you want to help everyone, and that's normal. It even makes you probably feel important when you think that way. But in reality, you cannot help everybody. When you try to serve everyone, you end up serving no one well. And the most successful people get laser focused on serving a specific group of people extraordinarily well. In my business of real estate, we focus on first serving agents with distressed properties. And we got really good at that. And now we open up new ways of doing business, but it wasn't until we mastered the first one first. So ask yourself right now and be brutally honest. Who are you called to serve? How can I meet their specific needs with excellence? And what unique problem can I solve better than anybody else? For me, I have future goals and I'm already thinking about the exact group of people that I want to touch, the exact people I want to reach, right? One of my ideas is to create healthy food options for people in a fast food format. Now, are there going to be people that still go to McDonald's? Yes. Am I serving them? No, because that's not what they want. But I'm serving the people that want a healthy option in a fast food format to where they can get it quick, they can take it home, they can eat it there, and it's good for their family, and it's still cost efficient. Now, you have to think about these things through a kingdom lens, right? Let's say you're married. Don't change your spouse. Start serving them with intentional love for who they are. If you have kids, don't manage their behavior. Start guiding them with the patience and the vision. And if you already own a business, don't just chase money. Start solving real problems with integrity. And the moment you make these shifts, everything is going to change. Your motivation is going to change. Your energy is going to change. Your results are going to change. Because you're not just working it out. You're working yourself. And you're working for something bigger than yourself. And Mark 10:43-44 says, whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. See, this isn't just a nice theology. It's the secret to explosive success. And in order to be great, in order to have the great explosive success, You have to learn how to identify and solve your crux. You might be thinking, what in the world is a crux? What is this guy even saying? It's the one single constraint that's holding you back from everything else. Think of it like this. The crux is the weakest link in your chain. When I was in the military and we would look at our team like this, we are only as strong as the weakest link. And the crux is that bottleneck that is limiting your entire flow. Just like the chain is only as strong as the weakest link, your success is only as good as your biggest constraint. And most people, they're ignoring it because it's uncomfortable to face. If you want explosive success in any area, stop trying to do everything and ask the question, what is the one thing, if solved, that would unlock everything else in this season? Let's go over some examples that maybe your crux is one of these. Maybe it's not. Maybe you know somebody that has this issue. It could be a limiting belief that whispers you're not good enough every time you try to level up. It can be a traumatic, unhealed wound in your past that's sabotaging every relationship that you touch. It could be a missing system in your business that's keeping you trading time for money. And it could be your health that's robbing you of your energy and focus every single day. In fact, it could even be just a financial habit of just eating out every day that's keeping you broke no matter how much you earn. I'm not going to lie. There was months where, we first making money in business and we were spending $5,000, $6,000 a month on food, just eating out and ordering takeout and all these things. And we look back and we're like, wow, we could have saved like $3,000 a month, and you times that by 12, that's a lot of money a year that you could have saved. Well, we learned that we grew from that. So you can't avoid it. You can't make excuses about it or pretend that it's not a big deal. You have to deep down, you have to know. And what's even scarier is you think you can solve it alone. But in reality, you need somebody else. We learn in Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says that two are better than one. Right? Me and my wife both made that decision up together. We need to, fix this issue because this is a problem. This is a waste, right? Maybe you don't have that. Maybe you just need to seek wise counsel. Maybe you need to get an accountability group. Maybe you need to find a partner, like a friend. Maybe your crux has been beating you for years, and now is the time you need to get the help. Remember I said at the beginning of this, say grab a pen and take notes. So this is the one thing I want you to write down right now. What is your crux right now? Write the question down, write the answer down. You got to pause, like I said, go ahead and pause it. But don't make excuses. Stop saying it's complicated. What is the one thing that if you solved it today, it would change everything? In fact, if you're up to it, make a comment below and let's help each other identify it. Put something in there that you think could be yours or could be somebody else's. Put a comment to help somebody else. Now the next part, after you've identified your crux, don't do what most people do because they are wrong. Don't play it safe by saying, I'm going to make small achievable goals. Goals that don't scare you. Goals that you can reach without changing who you are. Things that you can do right now with your current habits, your current network, your current thinking. Because what happens in those safe goals is keeping them exactly where they are. The truth is that successful people know that those safe goals are going to keep you on safe paths. And safe paths are going to lead to safe results. If you want extraordinary results, then you're going to need extraordinary goals. So I want you to create what I call an impossible goal. This is a goal that's going to be so big, so audacious, that it forces you to become a completely different person and create an entirely new path to get there. Now, this is a side note, but when you do things, it creates new neural pathways in your brain, right? And why does this work for your goal in your life to grow? Because when you set that impossible goal, you don't rely on your current habits because they're not enough. And you can't rely on your current network because maybe they're too small. And you can't rely on your current thinking because you're too limited in your mind. You're forced to innovate. You're forced to grow. You're forced to find solutions you could never have once discovered with those little realistic goals. Your impossible goal should do two things simultaneously. Number one, it should scare you. Number two, it should excite you. If you can easily see how you achieve it with your current resources and knowledge, it's not big enough. It doesn't make you nervous when you say it out loud, then you're playing too small. And scripture says this about it. In Ephesians 3:20, tells us that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Most people ask for what they think is possible. What if they started asking for what God knows is possible? Some examples of this could be, I'm not just going to lose 30 pounds, but I'm going to physically transform my body naturally so people won't even recognize who I am. Another one could say, instead of making $100,000, I want to serve 100,000 people. Now, maybe you serve 100,000 people and that solution cost, let's say, $1,000. Well, guess what you just made? You just made $1,000,000. Instead of thinking of making $100,000, you made actually more than $1,000,000. My math might be wrong, but you made a lot of money. When you set an impossible goal, you start thinking differently. You start acting differently. You start attracting different people. You start noticing different opportunities. And the goal itself changes before you even achieved it. And the truth is, in your current life, it cannot accommodate an impossible goal. Your current schedule, your current habits, your current relationships, they were all designed for your current life right now. And if you want to achieve something impossible, you're going to have to give some things up that are merely just possible. Just like before, make sure you write down this next thing. Write down your impossible goal. Don't worry about how you achieve it. Just focus on what would be completely different, what could completely transform your life if this goal happened. Make it so big that you're uncomfortable with it. If you're not nervous writing it down, it's not big enough. Now, this next principle, it's important because having an impossible goal isn't just enough. You need something to guide you there daily. That's where the vision comes in. And most people get it completely wrong. Because the vision God gave you, that is in the alignment with Him, is the compass that keeps you grounded when challenges arises. Your impossible goal is your destination, but the vision is what guides you through your daily journey there every day. And without it, you'll be blown around by every circumstance, every setback, every distraction. You'll be what Jesus says, the man who built on the sand, right? Most people confuse their goals with vision. Goals are just what you want to achieve, and vision is who you want to become and how you want to live every single day while pursuing those goals. Create a clear, compelling vision for each area of your life. Your spiritual growth, your family, your finances, your calling. Don't just be a churchgoer. Become someone who naturally turns to God first in every situation, good or bad. Don't just spend time together as a family, but actually build a home filled with love and laughter where your kids crave your presence and they know that they can bring friends over and have a good time. Right? I would feel so bad if I walked in my house and my family just said, "Hi, Dad." Right? I want them to be excited to see me. "Hi, Dad," and run over, give me a hug and love on me. That shows that your household is full of love and they're laughing with you. You're having a good time, right? And for business, don't just focus on making more money. Become the person who manages what you have wisely so you can give generously without thinking twice. And if you need to lose some weight or you need to work out more, don't just lose weight. Treat your body like the holy temple it is. Eat good food. Move around a bit more. And I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be fully transparent. Nobody is perfect. And working out, guys, is one of my weaknesses, especially right now. I started the past few days getting back in rhythm and doing something daily. Push-ups, pull-ups, something to keep moving, right? And if for your calling, don't just find purpose, but use your unique gifts to advance God's kingdom in a way only you can. And make sure you align your daily habits with that vision. Luke 16:10 says that faithful in little is faithful in much. So your daily actions either move you toward your vision or away from it. There is no neutral. And a quick assessment for you is to look at your calendar from last week. Look at your bank account statement. Look at your browser history. Do your actual choices reflect your visions that you have stated? Or are you lying to yourself about who you really are? So your vision without aligned daily action is just a fantasy. My wife says affirmation without action is the beginning of delusion, I believe she says. She can correct me later, but I'm pretty sure that's what she says, and it makes a lot of sense. Your daily action without vision is just activity that's going to just keep you busy, but you're never going to move forward. But when you combine a clear vision with an aligned daily action, that's when your breakthrough will happen. And most of you will create a vision and then immediately start thinking and making up excuses on why you can't live it out. I don't have the time. My spouse doesn't support me. I don't have the resources. Just stop. Because these are not reasons. Those are your choices you're making up right now. Now for this next piece, get your pen again. Write down your vision for each area, your spiritual, your family, your finances, your health, and your calling. And then honestly assess, are your daily habits aligned with the vision or are you fighting against it? And I highly suggest you go back in this video, make sure you take the steps, write down all of these questions because you are compounding into your breakthrough. Now, this is principle number 6. Subtraction precedes multiplication. This is a hard truth that separates the winners and wannabes. You cannot step into a new season while clinging onto old habits, distractions, relationships that are going to drain you. Your impossible goal demands a new version of you, and that new version doesn't have any room in your current life. This is where people quit. This is what they want the results, but they don't want to pay a price. They want transformation, but they don't want to change. They want multiplication without subtraction. It doesn't work that way. It's time to audit your life with ruthless honesty. What habits are unfruitful? Is it you're sitting all day watching Netflix every day and instead of working on your goals? Is it scrolling on your phone on Instagram and looking at all the things, stealing hours of your day, compiling up? You're like, oh, only 10 minutes. But 10 minutes times 10 is a lot of time. And that complaining that's poisoning your mindset, stop it, delete it, and do not procrastinate because it's going to keep you stuck. What distractions are stealing your focus? Notifications that are interrupting your flow. Maybe it's a news article pops in your phone. The commitments that drain your energy but don't serve your vision. The projects that keep you busy but don't allow you to move forward. Right? What relationship is draining you? What people do you need to cut off? Maybe it's old colleagues. Maybe it's old people, old friends, whatever it is. When the people who only call you when they need something, cut them people off. The friends who mock your dreams or the families who guilt you for growing. The colleagues who pull you into negativity, get rid of them. Where is God calling you to prune? What worked in your last season that's holding you back in this one? What comfort zone needs to be abandoned? And what safety net needs to be removed? See, Jesus said in John 15:2 that God prunes so that they may bear more fruit. See, clearing spaces is the pathway to multiplication. You got to cut some things out. The gardener don't cut branches on a rose bush because he hates the bush or he hates the tree. He cuts them because he loves what the tree can become. Even find this wonderful blueprint in Hebrews 12:1, where it says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that is so easily entangles. Notice it didn't just say throw away the sin. It says everything that hinders. So every good thing comes with hindrance. And if they're keeping you from God's best, you've got to get rid of them. And I know that this feels counterintuitive. You're like, does he make sense? But we need to think that we need to add more to grow more. We think that we need more strategies, more connections, more opportunities. But sometimes, in reality, that breakthrough comes from what we remove, not what we add. And what's going to happen is as soon as you're starting to subtract, people are going to question you. They're going to say, what, you've changed. You think you're better than me. You've forgotten where you come from. Let them talk. Let them say what they want. Because the people who are meant to be in your new season are going to celebrate you. They're going to celebrate your growth. And they're not going to resent it like the other people. And the price of your breakthrough is everything that's keeping you exactly where you are. Are you willing to pay it? And if you are, get your pen again and list 3 things you need to subtract from your life right now this week. Now, part 7, principle 7. Take clear, aligned action. You can probably tell by now this is going to take some work, correct? Well, this is exactly why in James 2:17 says faith that works is dead. You're right. Dreaming without doing produces frustration. Planning without action creates paralysis. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You just need obedient action. Most people are waiting for clarity or waiting to know all of the steps before they act. The truth is clarity comes through action, not before it. You don't have to see the whole staircase just to take the first step. Right now, today, identify, get your pen, write this down. One aligned action step you can take. And the key word there is aligned, not just any action. Aligned action that moves you toward God's vision for your life. Busy work doesn't count. It's very easy to stay busy. It's very hard to be productive. And activity without direction is just motion, not progress. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is going to follow action, not the other way around. Stop waiting for perfect timing. The perfect time was yesterday and it's gone. So the second best time is right now. And don't wait for permission. You're an adult. You're a grown up. Give yourself permission. Your breakthrough is hidden in the action you've been avoiding, the conversation you've been putting off, the decision you've been delaying, the risk you've been afraid to take. Well, this is what Proverbs 16:3 says when he says, commit the Lord whatever you do, and he shall establish your plans. But notice, you have to do something first. God will establish your plans when you take action, not when you keep planning them. And the next step for you to write down is to write down that one aligned action you can take today. And the final principle is to track, reflect, and adjust. In order to have the life you dream of and reach levels of explosive success, you have to have consistent reflection and refinement. Most people are going to set goals and forget them. Successful people track their progress and adjust the approach weekly. Start reflecting what worked and what didn't work this week. Then adjust what you can improve for next week. And pray that God is going to refine you to handle the next level and to reveal what you cannot see. He has the strength that you're missing, the strength to bear what's ahead. And this echoes David's prayer in Psalms 139, 23, and 24. He says, search me, O God, and know my heart, and test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there's anything in my way, and lead me in the way of everlasting. This kind of honest self-examination is what's going to separate you. It's going to separate those who grow from those who stay stuck. Like I said, it's not about perfection. It's not about knowing all the steps. It's about progression. Every week, every day, you're getting clearer and clearer and more aligned and more effective in advancing God's kingdom. Most people avoid this because it's uncomfortable. But it forces you to be honest with your failures or your weaknesses and your blind spots. But the discomfort is where growth will happen. Think about a seed. When a seed blossoms and turns to a tree, it doesn't just pop up a tree. The seed has to break down, has to get rid of its weakness, has to break the shell, has to dig down in the dirt, in the dark place, in the blind spot that we can't see. And then what happens in that disruption? A beautiful tree comes out and bears us fruit. So your breakthrough isn't hiding in a new strategy. It's hiding in your willingness to honestly assess what's not working and to change it. I had another conversation with another person that applied, and they said that they had a relative that was trying to do this wholesaling thing for like 5 years. And they didn't get any success, but they did it for 5 years. See, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is a definition of insanity. So it's not about grinding harder or wanting it more. It's about clarity and aligned action with kingdom obedience. Constantly being renewed in your mind, because God has called you to be faithful, impactful, and joy-filled in your life. But it starts with that clarity and the courageous obedience. It starts with facing the truth about where you are and making the hard choices and decisions to get where you need to be. So I'll leave you with this question. And I want you to feel the weight of it again. And I want you to ask God, Lord, what is the next aligned step you are asking me to take? Don't overthink it. Don't make it complicated. Just listen to it and obey. The 97% will watch this video and do nothing. They feel inspired for that moment. They're going to go right back to their old patterns. But the 3% will pick one of these principles and start implementing it today. The question is, what group are you in? If this video gave you clarity that you needed, hit the like button for me. Subscribe for more content that challenges you to grow. Drop a comment below. What's one breakthrough that you're believing God in for this season? And share this video with someone else you think needs to hear it. And remember, you're not just building a business or building your life. You're building the kingdom. And that makes all the difference. Stop making excuses. Stop making moves. Start making moves. Your breakthrough is waiting for you. Like I said, please subscribe to this channel for weekly videos. We do this every Friday. If this brought you clarity, also go to the link down below. Join the free community, Biblical Business with the Boltons. Also go to carlosbolton.com. Connect with me. Learn about me. Let's work together. Let's find a way to succeed together. Other than that, stay blessed by the best. I'll catch you next week.